So in today's session we will see how the PLCC system are used inside a electrical utility and what are the various types of connections, what are the various types of equipments used for a PLCC system. If you look at this side, this is the transmission line which is coming from this side, and these are basically if you see there are three conductors on one side, right hand side, and three conductors on left hand side. That means this is a double circuit tower, and if you focus on a single set of three conductors, then the right hand side is one transmission line, and if you see there those three conductors, that means for R phase, Y phase, B phase, coming from that side, it is connecting firstly to this equipment, and this equipment where the first time transmission line enters into the substation is lightning arrestor or surge arrestor. After this lightning arrestor, the next equipment which comes is CVT or capacitive voltage transformer. We will see why capacitive voltage transformer is used on somewhat later stage. And after this capacitive voltage transformer, the transmission line is now connected to wave trap. And if you see here, the wave traps are generally installed only in 2 out of the 3 phases. We will see again why this is only in the 2 phases and not on 3 phases. And after this wave trap, the next element that comes is your isolator, that is the line side isolator, or it is called line isolator. From line isolator, the jumper starts, and now it goes to the switchyard end where it is connected to the bay equipments or the main bay equipments. Right now for this PLCC system, we will focus or we will limit ourselves only up to these starting elements, that is the CVT, wave trap, and 2 smaller units which is installed just below this CVT, and it is called the LMU units or line matching units. Now you know what are the uses of CT and CVT. Basically CVT is used firstly for reducing that voltage of 400 kV to a measurable voltage of 110 volt, or in terms of phase to ground 63.5 volt, because that lower voltages is more suitable for measurement and also more suitable for from safety point of view. Now if you see, if you are using that 400 kV to 110 volt, if you use only directly a potential transformer, then the size of that transformer will be very large. That's why we are not using nowadays potential transformer. What we are doing is, through a set of capacitors, we are reducing that 400 kV voltage to a certain voltage level, suppose 33 kV, and after that we are using a smaller transformer for reducing that 33 kV to 110 volt in the secondary. So if you see here this CVT, there are 3 stacks, and in this inside these 3 or 2 whatever stacks, there are the capacitor units, and now those capacitor units are used for dropping that 400 kV to lower voltage of 33, and in the lowermost side you see there is a circular or cylindrical dome. In this cylindrical dome there is a potential transformer which now reduces that 33 kV voltage level to 110 volt for your protection and measuring devices. The next element that is inside this device or inside this is your line matching unit or LMU. Now the important thing for us, because in this session we are not focusing on CVT, and when we will discuss about CVT in detail, then at that time we will discuss what are the implications of capacitors and what are the implications of voltage transformers inside that CVT units, and how what are its effects on different types of protections of transmission lines. Right now what we are focusing on PLCC system. So you know that what is PLCC is basically a power line carrier communication. That means over this transmission line we are using the high frequency carrier signal for protection of transmission line. This high frequency carrier signal, if you know, the capacitor is basically the capacitive reactance is basically Xc is equals to 1 by 2 pi Fc. So higher is the frequency, lower will be the impedance. That means this CVT provides you a lower impedance path for transmission of this high frequency signal to remote end, from this local substation to remote substation. It provides a low impedance path. Now if you see the next element, the wave trap. Wave trap is generally as its name suggests, it is wave trap, that is it's used for the trapping of waves, and trapping of waves of high frequency. If you see, after the wave trap, line enters into the substation. So if there are any high frequency signal inside after this CVT, if there any high frequency signal, so after this CVT, if any high frequency signals are left, those high frequency signals are trapped by using this wave trap. Inside this wave trap, generally it is a choke coil, and as you know, choke coil is simply an inductance, and its impedance will be XL is equal to 2 pi FL. So higher the frequency, higher will be the impedance, and those higher impedance will be trapped inside this wave trap, and only low frequency signals, it will provide the lower path or lower impedance path, and only low frequency signal will be transferred to switch yard. Now again comes to this CVT. You know that the high frequency signals are transferred using from this CVT to other end. Now how this is done? Basically those high frequency signals, if you see here, one wire is coming from CVT top end, and this one wire is basically connected to CVT bottom point, and that point is inside there is terminal called HF terminal or high frequency terminal. From that high frequency terminal, you can directly connect this wire to your PLCC equipment. But then there is a chances that in case there is any over voltage in this line, and if you are using this wire directly from high frequency terminal to your PLCC equipment, then in case of over voltage in this equipment, or in case of any over voltage on transmission line, that over voltage might damage your PLCC equipment. So what we are using is an additional equipment called line matching unit or LMU. In this LMU, basically there are some transformer, and this provides a galvanic isolation in such a way that these high frequency terminals or high frequency HF cables are now passed from this LMU to this output is now going to control room. And what it does, basically it has surge unit or surge protection unit, and whenever there is a high voltage, this surge protection unit will operate, and when this operates, it will create a short circuit here, and this short circuit path, it is connected directly to ground. So now high frequency signal coming here, and if there is any high voltage signal, that high voltage will leads to operation of this, and this then connects to ground, and from this ground it will be going to ground. That means no high frequency signals will be transferred to your PLCC equipment in case of any over voltages, and your PLCC system will be saved, or will be now in better shape to mitigate any chances of damage due to over voltages in the transmission line. Then the next thing, if you see here, these LMU are basically installed in only two phases, and this is called phase-to-phase coupling. Basically, why we are using phase-to-phase coupling? Suppose you are using this LMU unit only, or LMU wave trap complete setup only in one phase, then it is one phase in ground, it will be a phase to ground coupling. But the disadvantage is that in that case, if there is any fault on that particular phase, suppose this LMU is used in Y phase and we are using Y phase to ground coupling, and if there is a fault on Y phase itself, then there are high chances or high probability that your signal might not be transferred from this substation to the next substation, and the PLCC system might not operate properly. So we are using phase to phase coupling. That means we are using LMU and wave trap in two different phases. And now if there is a even a very severe ground fault in Y phase, then also the signal will be transferred through R phase. If there is a fault in R phase, signal will be transferred through Y phase. If there is a fault in B phase, then there is no issue, because both R and Y phase LMU and PLCC and wave trap system will be in healthy condition. There are one question that might keep in your mind is, what happens when there is a phase-to-phase fault in these two phases itself? So when there is a phase-to-phase fault in these two phases itself, there is a chance that your carrier signal might not be transferred to other end due to severe attenuation. But again, that's not a big deal, because we are not using auto reclosure for phase-to-phase faults, and if there is a phase-to-phase fault, anyway you are issuing 3-phase trip command. so that will not hamper your protection system and not hamper your protection scheme in a long run. Thank you.